of the Supreme Person who enlightened the Supreme Individual Living Being, Brahma. The identity of Brahma with the Supreme Lord is never claimed herein, and therefore such a foolish claim by the man with a poor fund of knowledge is another display of the illusory energy of the Lord. The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita 16:18-20 that demoniac persons who deny the existence of the Lord are thrown more and more into the darkness of ignorance, and thus such demoniac persons transmigrate life after life without any knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The sane man, however, is enlightened in the disciplic succession from Brahmaji, who is personally instructed by the Lord, or in the disciplic succession from Arjuna, who is personally instructed by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita. He accepts this statement of the Lord, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pavartate iti madva bhajante man buddha bhava samamvataha. Bhagavad Gita 10:8. The Lord is the original source of all emanations, and everything that is created, maintained, and annihilated exists by the energy of the Lord. The sane man who knows this is actually learned, and therefore he becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Although the reflectory energy of the Lord displays various illusions to the eyes of persons with a poor fund of knowledge, the sane person knows clearly that the Lord can act even from far, far beyond our vision by his different energies, just as fire can diffuse heat and light from a distant place. In the medical science of the ancient sages, known as the Ayurveda, there is definite acceptance of the Lord's supremacy in the following words. Jagad yanir anichasya chid anantaika rupanaha pamsosti prakriti nitya pratichayeva bhasvataha achitenapi chaitanya yogina paramatmanaha akaro visamakilam anityam nanaka kritim. There is one Supreme Person who is the progenitor of this cosmic manifestation and whose energy acts as Prakriti, or the material nature, dazzling like a reflection. But such illusory action of Prakriti, even dead matter, is caused to move by the cooperation of living energy of the Lord, and the material world appears like a dramatic performance to the ignorant eyes. The ignorant person, therefore, may even be a scientist or physiologist in the drama of Prakriti, while the sane person knows Prakriti as the illusory energy of the Lord. By such a conclusion, as confirmed by the Bhagavad Gita, it is clear that the living entities are also a display of the Lord's superior energy, Para Prakriti, just as the material world is a display of the Lord's inferior energy, Apara Prakriti. The superior energy of the Lord cannot be as good as the Lord, although there is very little difference between the energy and the possessor of the energy, or the fire and the heat. Fire is possessed of heat, but heat is not fire. This simple thing is not understood by the man with a poor fund of knowledge, who falsely claims that the fire and heat are the same. This energy of the fire, namely heat, is explained here as a reflection and not directly fire. Therefore, the living entity represented by the living entities is the reflection of the Lord and never the Lord himself. Being the reflection of the Lord, the existence of the living entity is dependent on the Supreme Lord, who is the original light. This material energy may be compared to darkness, as actually it is darkness, and the activities of the living entities in the darkness are reflections of the original light. The Lord should be understood by the context of this verse. Non-dependence of both the energies of the Lord is explained as Maya, or illusion. No one can make a solution of the darkness of ignorance simply by the reflection of light. Similarly, no one can come out of material existence simply by the reflective light of the common man. One has to receive the light from the original light itself. The reflection of sunlight in the darkness is unable to drive out the darkness, but the sunlight outside the reflection can drive out the darkness completely. In darkness, no one can see the things in a room. Therefore, a person in the dark is afraid of snakes and scorpions, although there may not be such things. But in the light, the things in the room can be clearly seen, and the fear of snakes and scorpions is at once removed. Therefore, one has to take shelter of the light of the Lord, as in the Bhagavad Gita or the Srimad Bhagavatam, and not the reflective personalities who have no touch with the Lord. No one should hear Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam from a person who does not believe in the existence of the Lord. Such a person is already doomed, and any association with such a doomed person makes the associator also doomed. According to the Padma Purana, within the material compass, there are innumerable material universes, and all of them are full of darkness. Any living being, beginning from the Brahmas, there are innumerable Brahmas and innumerable universes. To the insignificant ant, all are born in darkness, and they require factual light from the Lord to see Him directly, just as the sun can be seen only by the direct light of the sun. No lamp or man-made torchlight, however powerful it may be, can help one see the sun. The sun reveals itself. Therefore, the action of different energies of the Lord, or the personality of Godhead Himself, can be realized by the light manifested by the causeless mercy of the Lord. The impersonalists say that God cannot be seen. God can be seen by the light of God, and not by man-made speculations. Here this light is specifically mentioned as Vidyat, which is an order by the Lord to Brahma. This direct order of the Lord is a manifestation of His internal energy, and this particular energy is the means of seeing the Lord face to face. Not only Brahma, but anyone who may be graced by the Lord to see such merciful direct internal energy can also realize the personality of Godhead without any mental speculation. Translation again. O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. First of all, I'd like to welcome all the visiting devotees. They're all guests of Sri Sri Gaur Nitai, the beautiful and merciful lords. Without the mercy of Sri Sri Gaur Nitai, no one can approach Radha and Krishna. So we're all eternally indebted to Gaur Nitai, and we're eternally indebted to the Guru, who reveals Gaur Nitai and who reveals Krishna to conditioned souls like myself. So these 4 nutshell verses are the original verses spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to Lord Brahma, and it is repeated here by Sukadeva Goswami to Maharaj Pariksit. And these verses are very valuable because they're coming in the Parampara system, and we see at the very top of the Parampara is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and the second representative of Krishna is Lord Brahma. And from Lord Brahma, his son, Narada Muni, is the third in the succession, and the fourth is Srila Vyasadeva, the compiler of all of Vedic literatures. So these verses are very valuable because not one word is changed from the original instruction of the Lord to Lord Brahma. So this Krishna consciousness movement is very valuable in human society, and it's authorized because it's coming down directly from Lord Krishna without being changed at all. And these instructions tell us the nature of God. And without understanding God, this human life is useless. And in the modern civilization, we have lost our connection with God. We've created an artificial civilization based on electricity and petroleum. And when these things are destroyed, the whole civilization will be doomed, and there'll be a very great catastrophe. And this is the result of forgetfulness of Krishna. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati used to say that there's no problem in the world except forgetfulness of Krishna. So this Krishna consciousness movement is trying to revive the lost relationship. All the living entities have a lost relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but we've simply forgotten. And by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and by chanting the holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Srila Prabhupada has given a very nice translation and purport to these essential verses on the Srimad Bhagavatam. And every disciple should be faithful to his guru and not go to other gurus who may be Mayavadis. In the modern age, there are many false gurus who claim to be God or who claim to be spiritual, enlightened, and they dazzle people because they can produce some ashes or a small quantity of gold. But the devotees are not fooled by such magicians. We're after the real guru. The real guru is a representative of Krishna, and he can reveal Krishna to the sincere disciple. So this is a very encyclopedic purport. Are there any comments or questions? Yes, Jagannath Prabhu.
I was just wondering why this material world is considered Maya, if or like I don't know what Krishna said in the translation. I think he said that it was Maya if it's not related to him. So, but everything is related to him because he's a super soul. So why would Krishna say that his material energy is Maya or illusory if it's also him?
It's illusory in the sense that it's temporary, but the Vaishnavas do not say that this world is false. The Mayavadis say Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, but the Vaishnavas do not accept that Jagat is Mithya because it is created by the Lord or by the Lord's energy. So anything created by the Lord is not Mithya. It may be temporary, but it is not false. Just like this material body, in one sense, it is illusion because it's temporary, but still it is not false. So we have to take care of this body because we have to use this body in the service of the Lord. And the human form of body is very valuable because there are 8,400,000 species of life. And in the human form of life, we have the great opportunity to leave this world of miseries. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, this world is Dukkhalayama Shashvatam. This world is temporary and it's full of various miseries. Birth, death, old age, and disease, miseries caused by demigods, Now in the winter it's too cold and too cloudy and rainy. In the summertime it's too hot. There are various miseries by our own mind and body. And there are miseries caused by other living entities. Nowadays in Kali Yuga, this is called the age of quarrel, and all the nations are quarreling with each other. And each nation is trying to be the supreme because we've forgotten God, we've forgotten Krishna, that Krishna is the supreme and everything belongs to Krishna. And this land of America, now we're claiming this land belongs to the Americans and no one else can come here. But actually, this is the conception of the barking dogs. When the strange dog comes to the block, the predominating dog barks, "Arf, arf, arf, why have you come here? This is my territory." So in the present age, everyone is thinking, this is my territory, this belongs to the Palestinians, this belongs to the Israelis, this belongs to the Russians, the Americans, the Indians. These are all false claims because actually everything belongs to God and everything was created by the Lord. So this world sometimes appears beautiful because it's the energy of the Lord, and it's created by Lord Brahma, the most intelligent living being. Lord Brahma is more intelligent than any modern scientist or philosopher. Does that answer your question? So the process of bhakti yoga or Krishna consciousness is dovetailing the material energy in the service of the Lord. And a few years ago, this computer science has become prominent. And when I was growing up, no one even knew what a computer was. There were some computers developed by scientists, but they're very huge, expensive machines. But nowadays, everybody has a computer, and unfortunately, nowadays we become dazzled by these computers and the internet, and as a result, we've turned away from Krishna, from God, and these. Because these machines are used mostly for sense gratification, Krishna will take everything away very soon, and this material civilization is doomed. Unless you take the Krishna consciousness now, we're all in a very precarious situation. It's a very dangerous age, the Kali Yuga. And there are nuclear bombs, there are various threats to sabotage the electrical grid, and presently there are cyber attacks. These cyber attacks are growing more and more frequent. So this artificial civilization is very fragile, and it'll soon be destroyed. So this is the very great danger of Kali Yuga. Thank you for hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. Now it's time for the Sankirtan Festival. All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
I haven't gotten a message from any of the devotees for their book scores yet in the services chat, so I'm thinking maybe we just do it later. Otherwise, I can read mine, and we can all say some highlights from the last couple of weeks of distributing. Do you each have a highlight from the last few weeks? Okay, so we'll just do that then for now, and we can read the rest of these scores either in the Gita class or tomorrow morning. So we didn't get to do one for the last couple weeks, so this is for all of December so far. So with 14 small books, so we'll read them, a portion of the scores for the pleasure of their lordship Sri Sri Gauranitai, Lord Nrsimhadev, Tulsi Maharani, the Sampradaya Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, and all the assembled devotees, and His Holiness Dhanavir Goswami. And then later we'll read the rest of these scores. So, okay, this is for the last couple weeks. Okay. So with one big book and two Maha big books for a total of 5 book points. Jagannath Prabhu. Haribo. And with 14 small books, one medium book, 27 big books, and 49 Maha big books, and one Lilamrita set for a total of 136 book points. Rishi Kumar Das. Hare Krishna. So the total for, well, we'll just do the whole total when we have everybody's score. One highlight. Trying to think of the best one. I guess one of the first ones that comes to mind is I had gone to Virginia Beach to visit family, and I was reading with them, and they were hearing Bhagavatam and everything, but I was just feeling empty without any book distribution. Like, it's like there's no life without any book distribution. So I thought, let me at least try to distribute a few books somewhere in the city. So my dad asked me, he said, we were driving in the car, and we saw my grandma, and he said, you want to walk with your grandma to the library? And I thought, okay, this is the opportunity. So I grabbed some books that were in the car, and I hopped out, and I was walking with my grandma to the library, and I was just waiting for somebody to walk up. And then the first guy, he was coming across our path on the sidewalk, and I told him I liked his style. He was a pretty cool-looking guy. And as I was talking to him, I realized his hat said Kansas City, and I was like, whoa, I'm bringing these books from a temple in Kansas City, and he was really into them. There's a picture of him in the WhatsApp. So he got just the first part of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai.
We were out on Harinam on Saturday, and I remember Jivadaya, he said that I could like hand out Bhagavad Gita's practically for free because he had paid for them. So I was doing that, and someone came up, and they looked like they were in a rush, and I told them about the book, and they said, wow, okay. They didn't seem so into it, but they took it anyway, and yeah, they left with the Bhagavad Gita, so thank you.
And also one more book score from this week with 3 Maha big books, 1 big book, and 1 small book for a total of 7.25 book points. Ajit Prabhuji, Haribo. You can say some highlight of somebody who took the books.
Sure. Hare Krishna. So, as Prabhupada rightly said, that book distribution is one of the greatest service what we can render, and it would surely benefit humanity at large. And with this as a mission, Rishi Prabhu and me, we just went to the nearby malls, and it was really a pleasant experience talking to people about the glories of the Lord. And the best part was the way we were able to distribute books, convincing people. And it was the first time I had the opportunity to do book distribution, especially in the USA. Earlier, I was doing in India, but it was completely a different experience. And on top of it, since Christmas was right arriving, so we could correlate and, as Prabhuji told yesterday, that Christ and Krishna are linked. So we used this very same philosophy in order to distribute Prabhupada's books, and people were happy to receive the mercy as well. And just one more point which I want to add here is about the uh, kirtan what we had did with the Elmo there. So, I mean, the other day the Elmo just came across and it just started chanting with all of us. So, I mean, these are the moments of joy, and let's hope by the mercy and the grace of their lordships we continue this idea of book distribution so that we can reach to the larger part of the humanity and yeah, make things happen. Hare Krishna. I don't remember his name, Prabhu, but we did it at the Walmart. That's one of it. And on top of that, there was one more person who has taken the Bhagavad Gita. So, like many a times, they wanted the Spanish version of Bhagavad Gita. So I was lucky enough to also learn Spanish indirectly. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Haribol. So we went to the plaza a few times last week to do Harinam and some book distribution. And there's a few instances where somebody threw some donation into our box. We didn't have the time to hand them the book because we were doing Harinam, but they walked by, threw money and left. There was one woman though who kicked us out of the spot, and before we left, we got her a small book. So that was pretty nice. Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai.
And then also with 6 small books and 7 medium books and 1 big book, Mridanga Prabhu, Haribo. Who took the big book?
The big book was distributed to a family who was visiting. It was actually a rather large family, and they were very grateful to receive the books and left a donation. The other ones, some of them were the small books were passed out for free in a lot of cases. A lot of people didn't have money. This was at the Harinam just a few nights ago on Saturday evening. Transcendental Book Distribution, Ki Jai.
Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.